Hi, today we are subtracting by more than one place. In this first problem here, we have 345 minus 107. The very first thing we want to do is we want to circle the number that we are going to start with. Since we are subtracting, we are starting on this side of the number line. So we're going to start with 345. When we look at the second number, it tells us what we're going to count by. In this case, when we use our place value chart over it, we see that there is 100, 7 ones, and 0 tens. Because there are tens, because there are 0 tens, we are not going to count by 10. We're only going to count by hundreds and by ones. So we're starting with 345. We're going to use two number lines, and again, we're using two number lines so that we can remember that we are counting by two very different things. So, and eventually we will move to one number line. So, in this problem, we're going to identify our hundredths place because that's what we're going to count by. In this case, 3 is in the hundredths place. I'm going to count 100 back. So, here's my one hop, and I'm going to take away 100. Because I'm taking away 100, instead of having 300s, I'm going to have 2. I have lots of students who want to change the 5 and want to change the 4, but if you change anything else, you are not counting by hundreds. You're going to start the second number line right where you left off, 245. That's where you left off on the hundreds number line. You can kind of think of it like this. This is for hundreds and this is for ones. So 245, we are going to take away 7. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And right away, I know I'm counting by ones, so I'm going to identify the digit in the ones place, and that's the 5. And so I know I want to take 1 away from it, so -1, -2, -3. So when I look at this and I see that this is the digit that should be changing, then I know I'm going to keep my hundreds the same, 244, 243, 242, 241, 240. Now, this is where a lot of you are getting confused. Some of you are going back to 300. Some of you are going to 199 at this point, but you are still just looking at the ones place. We'll use this. If I have no ones to give away, right now, this is what I have. I have 4 tens and 2 hundreds. And I want to take away a unit or a 1. I cannot because I don't have any. So what's really happening is when I'm counting backwards is I'm regrouping a 10 and I'm trading down. So that's going to give me 10 units. So right now, if you look at it, I have 2 hundreds, 3 tens, and 10 ones, which is still 240. I'm going to take away a unit. So now I don't have 10 anymore. I have 9, which gives me 239. So if you don't have a thousands chart, draw it out using your base 10 blocks so that you could figure it out. So 239 is my next number, and 238. Okay, so that's my answer, 238. I'm going to write it on the line. And to check myself, I'm going to make sure that I started with the first number, which I did, that I counted hundreds and ones, 100, I did. My hundredths place has changed, that I counted 7 ones. Looks like I counted 7 ones up top. As I look at the bottom, yes, it's the digit in the ones place that has changed every single time. So I know that I was, in fact, counting by ones. So when I look at 345 minus 170, it's the same digits as were up in this number. But using what I know about place value, it's not going to be the same answer. And so, of course, one of my questions is, and I want you to do some thinking, how is this equation like the first one? That's going to be my first question. How is 345 minus 170 like the first one? And then, of course, my second question is, how is this equation different than the first one? So you're going to look at these two equations here and tell me how they are alike. What is the same about them? And you're going to look back and tell me what is different. So you're going to compare and contrast them. Of course, I would like to know the answer. So I'm just going to put a dot, dot, dot so you can answer that. The answer for number 2 is what? For number 3, I don't necessarily want the answer. What I would like for you to do is tell me how much you end up with when you count by the first thing. And what I mean by that is on this third equation here, it's 345 minus 17. When you get started with your first number and you count back, what are you going to end up with? So in essence, I want the halfway answer. I want what you get before you start counting your second thing. It counts by 2 things. That's what I want to know. And so I'm looking for those 4 answers. How is this equation like the first one? We're comparing these two, 345 minus 107 and 340 minus 170. And how is it different? And I want you to figure out the answer for this so that you can answer that question better. And then 345 minus 17, how much would you end up with when you count by just the first number only? Okay, I hope that you have a wonderful day.